Good afternoon and welcome back to Plannercraft. My name's Ian and I'm going to be finishing off my project from this morning and doing the embossing part of the project. So as you may have saw earlier, I have some foam pieces of some like kids foam. If I can just lift up this bottom piece of tape. Hopefully you'll be able to see. There we go. So we have some soft kids foam underneath the mat here, underneath my project, and they're double-sided onto an old Artistics mat that's lost its tack. And I've just stuck my piece of artwork over the top, and now I'm going to use the file from earlier to bring in all the bits that I want to emboss. So we're looking at embossing everything that was done in felt tip. So all these bits around the outside, we're going to try and emboss and see how that goes.
Say hi, Carol and Linda.
Who have we got?
Carol and Linda.
Carol and Linda.
Yep.
Hi both, hope you're both well.
If I'm lucky, I might be able to see it on Facebook as well.
No, you never know. That's the one. So, we'll swap cameras. Make sure your sound's off.
I did just check, yeah.
Yay. So we're going to go into retrieve data, USB, and I might just do the flourishes because I think the flourishes will look good and leave the hearts and the text solid.
Oh, do the hearts too.
Do the hearts too.
Yeah. Hi, Mum.
Alright, let's go down to my folder. So we're going to bring in these one at a time. So we're going to bring that one in. Okay, and then we're going to go add, retrieve data, USB. And bring that one in. And then we're going to go to add, retrieve data, USB. And then we're going to bring the hearts in too, because Natty wants the heart. So we're going to go OK. And we're going to go OK. And we're going to select, and we're going to go to draw. Now, 24 minutes. I might speed that up just a little bit. So we're going to put our settings up, pressure up to 2.
Oh, and turn your fill off. That will help.
Might turn the fill off this time, because I left it on last time.
Yeah, you did. Did you? What, where you did that bit?
Yeah. It's embossed all the way through. You think just do the outside?
I think just do the outside.
Okay.
But I don't know now. Tell you what, do some outline. So the swirls take the bigger area, don't they? So do the swirls without the fill and the hearts with the fill, and then you can show the difference. Okay, I's going. Bye.
She's a pain in the bum, that one. So, into edit. So, I'm going to take the fill off the swirls. And we go OK. And leave the fill on the hearts. That should bring the speed down a little bit. 7 minutes, that's not so bad.
I'm being told off now.
I know, never mind. So, for this we're going to be using our nail art tool, so I'll just go back to overhead for a second. So we're going to pop our nail art tool into the holder, just loosen it off.
Embossing tool, if you have one.
Yep, or an embossing tool.
Same difference.
So you want to make sure it lines up to the middle. and into the centre, so make sure it obviously goes direct, if you can see there, and then tighten it up so it's nice and tight. And then slide off our guide and load it into our machine. Then we go back to our machine and we go start. And again, because we're using Carl's holder, it's going to tell me that I need to attach appropriate holder. Because it's 3D thumbprints one, we just press OK and we press start, and away it goes. Take that out to overhead. Natalie just put a link up to some of the nail art tools, didn't you? Is it on the group you put it?
Yeah, on the group.
On the group. So do have a look there for the tools, see what they were. There's some off Amazon, I believe. So we are going to do this a couple of times, like we said earlier, you're better off doing it a couple of times and leaving your pressure as is, and it gives you the same sort of effect, but the more you emboss it, the better it gets. So we will be doing this again in a moment. I got time to do it again, haven't I, today?
Yes, thanks. You've gone to 7 minutes, so you've got plenty of time to do your 3 goes round.
But the advantage is this, it's a homemade kit, so you don't have to be spending a fortune on the brother set.
Carol says he makes a change to telling me off rather than you.
So they are, infinitely cheaper. I mean, the foam sheets aren't expensive. They're only kids' foams. I think the range sell it, and you get by a pack of 50 for a couple of quid. It's not expensive stuff. And the nail art kit, like I said, I think the one we found was just under £5, was it?
Yeah.
For lots of tools. All you want to make sure is it's got a ball tool of some sort in there, a fairly small one, and then that's all you need. So whilst I have time to chat, don't forget we have our courses running in February as well. So we have the Adobe Photoshop one running on the 21st of February.
Yeah, which rapidly seems to be becoming more of a photo editing one in any package going.
Right, okay. And we also have the PC course, which I'm running, sort of a beginner's how to use guide on a PC, which is going to be run on the 27th of February. So if you do want to join those, have a look on our Buy Me a Coffee page. Both courses are on there. They're both £10. They're both all-day courses. So do come and join us for those if you'd like to. Anything else?
Improvers courses are going to be going up shortly.
Yeah, so next month and April, we're looking at doing improvers courses. So the next sort of stage on from the beginners courses for all the courses that we've done so far. So all the Scowl, Coral Draw, Canvas, Inkscape, anything that we've covered over the January courses, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at doing a more advanced class, so it's like an improvers sort of course. And we will be eventually starting the drawing classes too.
Yeah. Because I'm hoping this book's going to be going to print probably after the weekend, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you've told me you're going to have this weekend off, didn't you?
Yes.
I've been told.
Well, maybe the last weekend we have off for a long time, so yes.
Deb says, sorry she's late. Just got
That's
home
okay.
after walking the doggies. Has she missed much?
No.
So, all we've done at the moment is we've set up the poster to emboss.
And so it's first
doing,
run.
yeah, it's doing its first run at a pressure of 2 and a speed of 1. And Maggie's been busy making a vinyl bunny.
Cool.
We like bunnies.
Yeah.
And Carol says, yeah, drawing class.
I'll have to decide when we're going to start that, because it was supposed to be February, wasn't it?
Yes.
But we'll see.
Yes, but we'll have to see how things pan out, won't we?
Yeah. Yes, depending on what happens, either later this week or...
Yeah.
Okay. So that's its first run. I mean, it's not done a bad job. I think it says it needs a second run. Not sure if it'll need a third. The hearts are doing quite well. They've been embossed quite nicely.
Oh, Carol, you did well.
So we'll go again. So we're going to
I
select.
liked it.
We're going to draw. What was that?
Carol's drawing.
So we've set that off again.
And Carol says, when do you find out for certain? Good question.
It's a good question, yeah.
How long is a piece of string?
I'm waiting for an email regarding security checks, because it's a government-based job to a certain extent, or dealing with government contracts. So I've got to wait for security checks and clearance to come through. So as long as I pass those, then I should start technically next Monday.
Yeah, not this Monday, next Monday.
Yeah, not Monday coming, Monday after. So it's one of those that I've just got to wait for final checks to be done.
Maggie says that we'd be proud of her bunny making.
Right, you have to put a picture up on the group.
Yes, do put a picture up and to start an album as well. It's one of the things I keep forgetting to mention is anybody who's in the group can start their own album to add their projects to. And it's a good way of seeing how you're all progressing. She downloaded a card bunny, took it to pieces and remade it in HTV to go onto an egg collecting bag.
Cool.
Which reminds me what else we're going to try doing. So Dave.
Thank you, Carol. Paper bag or the vinyl onto the bag.
No, the foiling, wasn't it? Straight onto the print it on the. It's just whether it would work with these ones because of the handles.
If you had like the paper handle ones, it might, because they'd be flatter. They wouldn't be quite so.
Mind you, as long as you didn't need to do a background scan. How hard would it be to emboss that image rather than deboss? Anyway, to do it turned over. if you knew it was in the centre, it would be really easy, because just flip over and flip your design on your scan and cut.
You could make a mark so you knew roughly where you were aiming. If that made sense. So if you made a pierce hole through one of the corners, so you knew that it matched
Like
up
a
to
registration
like
mark.
a registration sort of mark on the back.
So you actually cut your registration mark through like a little. You could do like 4 squares and do it that way. Especially if you're working with coloured card, it's going to be a bit more tricky on white card.
Yeah.
And Barbie says, "Oh no, no more Ian videos." I'm sure there will be Ian videos.
I'm sure there'll still be a few more Ian videos yet. Yeah.
It's just that they'll be later.
Less of them. They won't be quite so frequent.
I don't know about that.
No. They're not as popular as yours.
That's not true. That is not true. We know it's not true. We see the figures. Can't say that one.
It says nobody's watching.
You've got 12 at the moment.
12.
Which isn't bad for an afternoon. Afternoons are generally quieter anyway.
They are, yeah. Consistent, because I had 12 this morning.
Yeah. Could do with moving the buy me a coffee. I might just do that briefly, because it's overlapping the chat. How did I not put that one earlier? I don't know.
You might have to unlock it. Yeah, unlock it, look, it's locked. Then click it.
Do. It can walk across. Do.
It's because it's got a bit at the top as well, so if somebody actually does it whilst we're on stream, it's got a bit at the pinks down at the top.
Oh. But at the moment it's better to do the chat on that side, isn't it?
Yeah. Aim that a bit more that way. Is that better?
Mhm.
Oh, it's the...
I love how you make use of my light. I think our restream's crashed on the chat because it doesn't seem to be updating on the video. Or at least not on. Yeah, it's frozen, I think.
So any more questions whilst we're just waiting for that to do? Because I might send it round again. Yeah.
Yeah, so be sure to get your Ian questions in.
Yeah.
So it's one of the reasons why I'm trying to get people to sign up for the PC course, isn't it? Because we don't know when we'll be able to run it again.
No.
So it's definitely going to be worth signing up for that one.
Yeah, because I may have to work some weekends, so
Yeah.
depending on which contract I get put onto if I get the job. Because it's not a small company, is it?
No.
Oh, I need to cut those nails.
Sure. I got to tell you to tidy up after yourself.
I have to tidy up after Mrs. this morning. You should see the state I had to tidy up this morning. Hey? Think I'm messy. Oi.
Don't know what you mean.
First part of my morning to clearing the desk so I can actually do a stream. I'm going to give it one more go just for luck.
Of course.
Oh. And return. So one more run, just for good measure. out, it's just getting that little bit more indented each time it goes through. Obviously the aim that we're aiming for is not to actually break the paper completely, but it's just that each time we run it over it stretches the paper that little bit more. So it debosses it just that little bit more each time. Doesn't make for very entertaining TV, this, does it? I'll be fascinated by the scan and cut going, what's it doing? Trying to think if there's any other questions or answers I can give at the moment, things we need to say. Can you? Let me go and have a look, see if I can see comments on the big one.
Hang on.
It's alright, I'll have a look. Save you stopping.
Carol says sing a duet to keep everybody entertained.
Oh no.
It was very odd seeing Ian wearing a shirt and tie in the office, I have to say.
Yeah, you're not used to seeing me dressed up, are you?
No.
That's usually a scruffy.
Yeah. It's been a while since you've had to go to work in a suit, isn't it?
And it is, yes. Not opposed to it, but...
Sandra says, good afternoon.
Afternoon, Sandra. Hope you're well.
Hope you're all keeping warm and that we're feeling lots better.
Yeah, we're
I'm
getting
feeling very chilly actually at the moment.
Stand by that radiator, it's nice and warm.
Yeah. I need little thermal bits in the bottom of my slippers. You know, the things you put in your gloves to keep your hands warm.
Yeah.
I need those in my feet.
The little snaps.
Yeah. Very cold feet.
Sandra, we're using a nail art tool to do some debossing rather than embossing, but with the scan and cut and not using a scan and cut kit. This is on its third run, and the design going around is the one we created the other day, so that's what it looks like on black and white. I can get that. Oh, where's the best place for that? There we go. So we have little red hearts and other bits, so that's our full design that Natalie's going to colour in at some point. Like you do.
Mm-hmm.
Make it look fab.
At some point I've still got to finish my watercolour lady from last week.
Oh, you have.
It's waiting for me to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that'll be some point over the weekend. But I've got some samples to do, haven't I?
You have?
And that's probably the closest as I'll get to working this weekend, isn't it?
Playing.
Yeah, playtime. Deb says that she can't seem to get warm. Know that feeling? It's still -3 in Doncaster, So I don't think what it is outside here.
I've played to the lovely craft foam session we're making around. Yeah, once this is finished for the last time, I'll show you what I did to make my mat. The only reason I didn't show it earlier is I had to get it into the machine because it's an old mat. It's a bit of a... It plays up a little bit getting it into the machine, doesn't it?
Yeah, even with lots of sanding, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's very abused, that one though, isn't it?
Yeah. It's well used and abused mat, this one, so...
Our mats have to go through a lot, don't they, with us?
They do. I mean, the daily use, repeatedly daily use. It's only got a minute left to do, so that should be done in a second. I wonder why it doesn't count down below a minute.
Don't know.
Not that accurate. There we go. So I shan't do it again because that's 3 runs, which is more than I gave for the last one.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to try and peel off this masking tape without ripping my paper. There's one piece. This bit already ripped in half, so I might just cut the actual off that. Carefully does it get that one off. Let's unload this back now. Take the embossing tool out because I don't like getting damaged. I'll loosen that off and take that out. Put the clip away. Make a little bit more space. So there's 3. And last but not least, this one might be a bit more aggressive because this is a fresh piece that I took.
Apparently, if you warm it with a heat gun first, it'll actually...
Not the masking tape.
Yeah.
Ah, there you go. Slow and steady.
There's a trick I got off a video at some silly o'clock this morning.
Name's the truth. Hey, there we go. So, there we have our design. I don't know if you can make out the embossing or not on that. Let me put the camera back straight. Let's be sensible. And let's bring it down a bit. Oh, what's happened there? There we go.
You're pushing buttons on my phone.
Yeah. So it's got a nice emboss. The foil's done a fairly good job. Like I said, the foil is my fault because I didn't change the settings. But if we do turn it over, you can see all the bits that it's embossed or debossed. And done a really good job with. Yeah.
Do you want me to flip back to stream so you can see
okay.
that you can see that one?
Hopefully we can. Put that down.
You can see on those hearts that it's ready.
Yeah, indent. Take that back up just a little bit so it's Not quite so close.
I don't know, but it's the chat's dropped down a bit. Let's see.
Restream chat.
It's still. Yeah, it's
His comments come at the top, look, not at the bottom. So your most frequent ones come in at the top.
Yeah. Do you want me to lift it up a bit? Because it goes
No,
down
it's
quite a
all
long
right.
way underneath the thing.
So just a quick show of the mat underneath. So this is what we've been using. Like I said, it's an old Artistics mat that we've well and truly used and abused. And basically these bits of foam are double-sided taped onto the mat. So like I said, they're just A5, I think they're A5, are they, pieces?
Yeah, A5,
Yeah.
Sandra says, will the PC course be available to watch after the live, like Scal and Affinity?
Yes.
Yep. Maggie needs to watch it all again because there's a little bit of everything. Yep. Because
Yep.
you've done drawing, you've done foiling, you've done embossing.
Done embossing, yeah.
The
And
only
how
thing
to
you
make your
haven't
own
done
mat.
is actually cut.
Yeah, I didn't cut anything out. I've left it blank, so. So what you could do is put that back on the original mat
And cut it
and
out.
cut it out. Put just a simple frame around the outside and cut the frame out.
And Carol says, can you do the same thing by scanning a pattern from a Pergamano magazine and then emboss it? If so, would there be a way of piercing also?
Piercing would be the paper piercing kit.
Yeah.
It's the only way you can get it to pierce, isn't it?
Yeah, you have to have the paper piercing kit to do paper piercing, which is very annoying because it's very. I think it's very expensive, but.
I mean, technically, could you do it with like a dashed line?
You could, but it won't be the same.
Yeah.
Either that, or you'd have to actually put your little Pico cutting as little X's in your design.
Mm.
In terms of scanning the pattern, so long as the copyright will let you, then theoretically yes you could, considering that they tell you to photocopy the book anyway.
Yeah.
And you need to use the third option along on the scan to cut data, which then traces the centre line, or if you have Cold Draw can trace the centre line for you too. It does a very good job. Barbie said she missed the beginning. Is it an embossing adapter? No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's just the 3D Fun Prints.
It was the 3D Fun Prints pen holder and a nail art tool.
Last of the big spenders.
Last of the big spenders. It cost us £1 from the pound shop in a pack of, I think, about 3 or 5. So no, that's all it was. And the mat is one that we made ourselves. So like I said, it is purely it's an old Artistics mat which we've used and abused. I mean, you can see if you can see all these cuts on the top.
Do you want me to pop the string off so you can see? That way a bit to your right.
So on the top of that mat, each one of those nicks is a cut, and it goes all the way across.
A bit more to your right. You're wandering off there.
And then it goes
lots and lots
all the way back.
And that's not even taken into consideration all the foiling, drawing, and
and anything else that we've done and used with it as well. So it's a well used and abused mat.
So never throw away an old mat.
Nope, you can always find another use for it. If nothing else, something like this, it's ideal. And I've only used 3 pieces of foam there and got a spare bit as well. So if you need it.
You can even make a super tacky mat for if you want to do things like acrylic or grey board.
Mm-hmm. So with that, I think that's me done for this afternoon, unless there's any questions that I've missed.
Don't think so. Carol says, my mat has some cuts along it. Does it mean that it needs to be replaced? No.
No, duct tape on the back.
Yeah, if you go through it, it's duct tape on the back, but if you've got lots of cuts along the top, that just means that your mat's doing really well, to be honest.
Yep.
Basically what each one of those nicks is, it's kind of a
calibration, isn't it, for the machine?
Yeah, it gets the blade going in the right direction. It's the official way of describing it.
Yeah. Unless you read into it and Brother say actually it's counting how many cuts it's done. But there we go. But those are the two that we've done. So like I said, I drew that one with just a black pen on a piece of paper, and then this one was the one we did this morning, and then we've embossed this afternoon. So thank you all very much for joining me and for this afternoon. And Natalie will be back on Monday. And she's doing two-parter on Monday, aren't you?
Yeah, because I'm going to show how I've set up the file as well, because I've already done the setup.
Yeah, so Nat's going to do a setup in the morning at 11 o'clock, and then we're trying our new time in the evening, so we're going for a 7 o'clock evening slot to try and see how we get on with that. See if we pick up some more of our overseas friends with that as well, won't we?
Yeah.
With a bit of luck. So without further ado, I shall say thank you very much, and we will see you on Monday. Have a good weekend, stay safe and stay warm.
Yep, definitely the latter.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.